How to Miscommunicate Successfully, a visual essay by Sandy Christ. Prologue.
You got one weird message from the direction of galaxy explaining to experience, but I think it's the human trying to communicate.
So annoying. It's so complicated.
Quiet! You're gonna find the way to read it, okay?
Welcome to this video tutorial on how to miscommunicate successfully. You probably already asked yourself, what message did these creatures get? In 1974, humans sent out a message into space in order to communicate with potential intelligent extraterrestrials. The message is a radio signal made out of binary code, which means it is a message made out of 2 digits, an on and an off signal, a 1 and a 0. So let's have a look and translate the message into an image using a black and a white square. The message itself looks very cryptic at the first glance, so let's analyze the content. It contains numeric data like our numbers from 1 to 10, the average human height, and the number of nucleotides in our DNA. Scientific data like the atoms and molecules in our DNA. Pictograms like the shape of a double helix, a human silhouette, the solar system, and the Arecibo radio telescope. Also, it contains symbols like arrows. Next, let's analyze the reading directions of the content, since every numeric data is encrypted within the message using binary code sequences. There are 4 different reading directions, including no direction for the pictograms: right to left, left to right, bottom to top, indicated by the red gradients. Chapter 1. Encryption. Since we're using the Arecibo message as a system to miscommunicate, we have to learn how to encrypt messages in binary code. Letters and numbers have their individual binary code sequences. Now let's create our messages. Oh yeah, the content. For that I asked a few people about what objects or information they would send out to potential extraterrestrials.
A toy alien.
A carrot.
A microchip with all wisdom of humankind. Rick and Morty.
A friendship book. A cat. A fig tree.
The messages contain a mix of words, numbers, and pictograms inspired by the original message. Also, there's information about the sender at the bottom. Let's take a look at some examples on how to encrypt a message in order to achieve a successful miscommunication. Make sure you speak with a mask on. Always simplify your messages. Definitely censor your messages. Under no circumstances use punctuation. Try to talk backwards. Chapter 2. Transmission. Now we're going to send our message to space. For that we need to send it out as a radio signal on a wavelength between 1420 and 1720 MHz, since there is the least interference with space, dust and objects. Oh, unfortunately we need a radio license to do this. Well, then we'll find another way. Make sure you don't know your receiver. Definitely use a different transmitter medium from the receiver medium. Don't forget to make a one-time transmission.
Sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Make sure the transmission takes as long as possible. Chapter 3. Decryption. Since we can't send our message to space, let's try and see what could happen when the receiver decrypts the message. We're doing some decryption experiments on the receiver. Bear in mind, the receiver doesn't know how to read the radio signal, so we're mimicking the different ways on how the message could be decrypted by changing the reading directions and the format. Now let's see what happens when we decrypt our own messages to see how that influences the content. For that, the original message was either decrypted by changing the reading direction, each line, a format change, a rotation, or a mix of them. To see how the changes influence the message, we're focusing on the pictogram part of our messages. For the next chapter, we're going to utilize miscommunication as a production tool for new information to get the most out of it. Chapter 4. Interpretation. In this last chapter, we're going to send off our falsely decrypted messages to some volunteer aliens and ask them how they interpret what they see. Oh, we got mail. Let's see what's in it.
Bad world map.
A fish ready to eat seaweed.
Top view of a vehicle with 3 axles
Crushed
and
insect.
6 wheels.
Roadkill. Torch. Broken sword. Rocket.
A
Palm
tree
tree.
would be a mix of an oak tree and a palm tree for the tram.
Tree with falling leaves or
Tree.
apples.
Bonsai tree.
Obviously a tree.
A double bed seen from the sky,
I can't
on
see
which a
anything.
mule tray rests. The sheets are checkered and under the bed is a black carpet.
Floppy disk or computer thing.
Two light bulbs or two
Flippers,
flashlights.
size 43. 2 people naked, censored, throwing confetti in the air.
Ignition
They could be
plug.
wearing a skirt. 2 light bulbs shining differently.
A table seen from the roof and a tiny card that we would put around
Electrical
our wrist
building
for a
pieces from a
festival.
computer, resistor, RAM.
USB ports
Belt
front
buckle
view.
and domino piece.
Notre Dame
A
burning.
superhero wearing a striped suit crashes to the ground.
Front
Poor
view of
guy.
ship with 2 flags wafting in the wind.
Wizard with hood talking to
Pole.
two
2
convicts.
people dive into head first.
9/11.
2 people hold hands and dive into water or penguins.
A swimming frog.
Floor plan of a church. A stag beetle, or when you turn the image 90 degrees, a face with its tongue
A
out.
rocket.
Thanks for joining this tutorial video on how to miscommunicate successfully. I hope you learned something useful and see you next time. Epilogue.
I still don't get that message. It just doesn't make sense.